dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyat ka ng magiting. Sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy kayang magiliw, pero san silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyat ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may dilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiligdi. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng at ipagsitabay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya dapat may mga aming ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this year's Best at SFAD Juried exhibition. I am Denise Salvacion, faculty and the lead organizer of Best at SFAD, and it is wonderful to have you all here. We apologize for the delays and would like to thank you, viewers, for staying with us. The next few minutes will be packed with exciting announcements as we look at the winning entries for the 2022 University-wide Art Competition. The past years have been tough on everyone. The lockdown, the adjustment to virtual learning, and let's not forget all the changes and struggles in our physical, social, emotional, mental, and even our own political states. And yet it's through events like this that we see the fortitude and the grit of our students as they, with the rest of the PWU SFAD community, endeavor to learn, create, and voice out our own experiences of the pandemic and even beyond. What motivates SFAD to pursue this professional exhibition is the trust we have towards our community of student creatives whom we respect as adults and responsible learners. And we are very happy with the overwhelming amount of support and submissions we have received for this year's Best at SFAD Juried exhibition. So, without further ado, let us welcome our esteemed guests. Let's start with a message from Mr. Marco M. Benitez, our university president.
Dr. Felina Young, University Chancellor and SVPAA, Dean Jing Turalba of the PW School of Fine Arts and Design, our distinguished jurors, faculty members, event coordinators, students, and guests joining us for this hybrid event in person and on our social media platforms. A pleasant day to everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you to the launch of this hybrid exhibition, both online and in person, from the Helena Benitez Hall at PWU Manila. I'd also like to congratulate the organizers, Dean Turalba and her team, Professor James Tana, the exhibition curator, Professor Denise Salvacion, SFAD faculty, coordinator for this year's event and moderator of the jury deliberation, as well as the rest of the organizers. Our thanks as well to our distinguished jurors, Ms. Jana Benitez, Ms. April Tejam, and Ms. Che El Som. Thank you for lending your time and expertise to make this event a success. Last year's Best at SFAD was our first ever virtual all-student juried contemporary visual art exhibition, done during the middle of the pandemic. Despite the challenges posed by the quarantine restrictions, the creativity and innovation displayed by the students and organizers were truly remarkable. This year, we are fortunate to have been blessed with a better health situation, allowing for the in-person opening of the exhibition. Nonetheless, the organizers have maintained both the digital and physical formats for submissions, truly signifying the institution and the industry's shift to both physical and digital art forms. Much like how the pandemic has pushed education to adapt to flexible learning, both in person and online, as legitimate modes of education. Having thus seen the advantages of the digital environment, it is hard to imagine going back to how things were before March of 2020, when everything was done mostly in person. While the need to adapt was truly drastic, and much of the learning was through an iterative process of trial and error, the pandemic taught us to be more humble, resilient, creative, and collaborative in finding the best way to teach and to provide our students with a quality education and experience at PWU. Personally, while there are still areas to improve on, I think we have done our best given the resources available. Similarly, I'd like to thank our student artists and graduates have had to face such challenges in their own context as students and artists during the pandemic. Participated in this exhibition, and those already practicing in their respective fields are testaments to what they learned and how they were formed here at SFAD and PWU. I'm sure it must have taken a lot of creativity, resilience, and passion for artists to continue to thrive throughout this pandemic, and these will be evident in the works we will see today. If there is one lesson that we can draw from this pandemic, it is that while we have all faced a common health crisis, each one's set of challenges is unique. Thus, the way we have responded reflects our own individual circumstances and perspectives. In like manner, the creativity that came about as a result of each person's experience is equally distinct. And it is in the compounding of these unique creative expressions towards a common objective, whether the creation of works of art and design or a collective institutional response to the pandemic, such as what the PW community has done and continues to do, that we can draw inspiration from. Today, as we unveil this year's Best at SFAD exhibition, we celebrate not only the individual works submitted by our student artists for the competition, but equally as important, we celebrate their individual and our collective triumphs, inspiring one another as we emerge even stronger from the challenges faced during the pandemic. Thank you very much, and once again, congratulations to the organizers and participants.
Thank you, President Marco Benitez, for the warm thoughts you have shared with us amidst the current situation. Indeed, despite the challenge, we learned and grew a lot from this experience of the pandemic. Next, we will have a message from the Dean of the School of Fine Arts and Design, Ms. Josephine Turalba.
To our Honorable President Marco Benitez, Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Felina Young, fellow deans and faculty, event coordinators, students, a good afternoon to all. Thank you for joining us at this annual event, Best at SFAD, dedicated to highlighting the excellence in the School of Fine Arts and Design. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed jurors, SFAD faculty and interior designer IDR Che Elson, visual artist and SFAD graduate advisor Ms. Jana Benitez, and Ayala Museum's senior manager and of exhibitions and collections, Ms. April Tijan. We are honored with your presence here. To all those who participated in the competition, congratulations! You know, just by responding to the call of entries and submitting your works, you have already taken a proactive step towards action. And that is a baby step win in itself. So congratulations to all who submitted in the competition, and also to the successful SFAD graduate students who are exhibiting at the are today at the exhibition. I would also like to specially acknowledge our project manager, Denise Salvacion, curator James Tana, for both SFAD faculty, for doing an exemplary job leading this momentous task. All the backroom prep work and coordination to mount this event were not possible without strong leadership. Congratulations too to the support team that made up of different volunteers from our student organizations, Society of Interior Design students under the leadership of their president Melmar de Guzman, Trifecta led by Madel Citas, Obscura with Ethan Dilo leading, and Pintabs led by Eunice Polig. Your tireless work with design, documentation, and installation have not gone unnoticed. Thank you to the different departments of PWU who banded together to produce this. Ms. Rona May Tuano from Marketing, Mr. Robert Thomas, and Mr. Vladimir Villamor from the Multimedia Department, Ms. Michelle Fantilagan from Finance, and our very own SFAD's inexhaustible AA, Rowena Vidal. And then, of course, special thanks to the unwavering support of SFAD JCB Gallery Manager, Associate Professor Noel Quizon, BFA Coordinator, and Associate Professor Sam Oxeno for assisting with the submission process, and Associate Professor Mervy Pueblo, and also the Graduate School Coordinator, who ideated this competition. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who worked from home and those who worked periodically on campus amidst all the challenges of the lockdowns, not only to mount this exhibition, but most of all to produce quality learning experiences for our students. And then also art design works that the SFAD and PWU can truly be proud of. So, as the world is now reconnecting with each other, border restrictions are being removed, and level 1 being lifted in Manila, it feels like we are at the heels of the finish line. Humans and all living things have had some sort of hibernation and reparation during the long pandemic marathon. And today we emerge and come together again with revitalized energy. We celebrate our successful PWU SFAD graduates, current students, and competition participants. We recognize your passion for learning and fortitude in finishing the race. The fruits of your hard work, patience, and perseverance are now being recognized. So again, congratulations. PWU has always been a producer of our nation's artists since its inception in 1952. Continuing in its tradition, SFAD forges on and challenges the talents of our students, giving them the opportunity to excel in our in-house competition. The best at SFAD, now in its second year, is a testament to SFAD's commitment to making a difference in society. The culminating exhibition provides the space to gather and strengthen the bonds amongst its people. Borrowing the words from our curator, the exhibition responds to the prompt, becoming, bothering, to emphasize the premise that art and its presentation are crucial to depicting truths and realities of our time. Yes, the challenge to each one of you, student artist and designer, is to be the conduit of human expression, a channel for your emotions, our emotions, hopes, fears, dreams, fantasies, and realities. We cannot stress the importance of art to humanity because art is so commonplace. Sometimes a beautiful mural here on the way to work, a song over the radio. We sometimes lose sight of its significance and impact in our lives. It is our sacred duty of artists, as artists and designers, to make, and make art, to keep the fire burning. Through SFAD, the best at SFAD, we forge ahead, bringing positive impacts to our community and being the catalysts for positive change. I leave you now with a quote from Ingold's Making: Anthropology, Archaeology, Art, and Architecture, that encapsulates the art of making, of trying, failing, reflecting, and responding that happens in the arts as well as in our lives. He says, "You try things out and see what happens. Thus, the art of inquiry moves forward in real time, along with the lives of those who are touched by it, and with the world to which both it and they belong. Far from answering to their plans and predictions, it joins with them in their hopes and dreams. To practice this method is not to describe the world or to represent it, but to open up our perception to what is going on so that we, in turn, can respond to it." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Turalva, for sharing your thoughts on the challenges of our times and the positive impact the students can make as artists on the community. We look forward to how each student responded to the need to depict truths and realities, especially in an era of misinformation. So, without further ado, here's a peek at the exhibition, a minute audio-video production created and directed by Obscura with the guidance of our curator, Professor James Tana. The exhibition was curated by Professor James Luigi Tana. James is the 2020 Ateneo Art Awards Calo Ledesma Foundation Art Criticism Essay Awardee. He's also an arts writer, independent curator, and museum worker. He played a pivotal role in curating the physical exhibition of this year's competition. Let's give him a big round of applause. Before we announce the winners, let's have a run-through of our criteria and our set of judges. Our deepest thanks to Miss April Tijam and from the Ayala Museum, Ms. Yana Benitez, who's currently in New York, and our interior designer, Mr. Che Elson. With their knowledge and expertise and coming from these three fields in visual arts, SFAD is confident that the evaluation of the entries were reviewed with vigor. If any of our judges is here, please say a quick hello or wave to our live audience. Each entry was first evaluated according to the following criteria: intention and coherence, materials and techniques, conceptual understanding, and grit and risk-taking. After the evaluation, results were tallied according to the total score and average. Based on the tally, the top 3 works for art and top 2 works for design were discussed. Each jury will get a chance to choose one artwork he or she believes should win the prize. After the justifications, each jury will vote again to narrow down on one work per category. Now let's go to the winners. For the winner of the Best at SFAD Art category, congratulations to Gabriel Luis Jesus Brioso. Your work, Still Reality of Objects, won for the Best at SFAD Art category. Let's give it up for Gabriel. The jury have all agreed that your work, still reality of objects carry the spirit of competitiveness in terms of all criteria. According to our jurors, the art piece especially shows a great amount of grit and risk-taking for successfully attempting to combine the possibilities of both VR and our conventional ideas of exhibiting. The technical application of augmented reality coheres well with the conceptual understanding of a post-human lens, and the artistic intention of coming from the artist's own words, using the tangibility of object, be it physical or digital, in order to envision a digital space that coexists with physical reality. It raises awareness about criticality, hyper-awareness, and mindful consumption in digital space. Very relevant, right? Congratulations, Gabriel, for winning the art category. Now, for the winner. Shall we proceed? Okay, for the winner of the Best at SFAD Design category, let's congratulate Jazine Leonor Garlit for winning the Best at SFAD Design category. Let's give it up for Jazine. If you're here, congratulations. The jury have all agreed that your work, made through photo manipulation, showed technical competence and conceptual understanding in coherence with your stated artistic intentions. To read an excerpt from the artist's rationale, the portrait in the book signifies openness. Like a book, being open makes us reliable, not just in the eyes of others, but also through an understanding of our own feelings. Indeed, the ability to share this knowledge and learn from others is one we can value. Congratulations again, Jazine, for winning the design category. Our SFAD and Best at SFAD jury would also like to acknowledge other entries that also received high marks for evaluation criteria. Let's also congratulate the following special mentions as well. Congratulations to TJ Masola for his work breaking barriers and being fearless. Congratulations also to Aurora Francisca Miranda for her untitled work made in holograph. Finally, we would also like to congratulate Eunice Jean Cypher, colleague, for her work assemblage. Thank you for everyone who submitted for the exhibition. This year, we have also received more than 50 entries, each contributing to the success of the exhibition. We would just like to take this opportunity to showcase all our exhibiting artists shown in the screen who did their best to produce and submit works despite all the challenges of the pandemic. We salute each and every one of you. PWU SFAD and the jury appreciates the hard work you all have given and would like to send you and the viewers their messages. For our first message, here's Miss April Tijam. Miss April is a seasoned museum professional who has been in the Philippine art scene for more than 25 years. A published writer and recipient of various international scholarships and grants, she has presented her researches in numerous museum conventions, as well as represented the country as a scholar, participant, and delegate in global ICOM conferences. She has also helped set up and establish museums in different parts of the Philippines. She is currently the senior manager at Ayala Museum Exhibitions and Collections.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. I am April Tiham, Senior Manager for Exhibitions and Collections at Ayala Museum. I am very grateful to be part of the Best at SFAD 2022 deliberation and would like to congratulate Dean Josephine Torralba, Professor Mervy Pueblo, and Professor Denise Salvacion and their very reliable team on the successful organization and presentation of the program this year. It is very heartwarming to know that the Philippine Women's University, through the School of Fine Arts and Design, champions platforms for students and young artists and designers to showcase their creative energy and ingenuity. Since the 1950s, PWU has served as fertile grounds for the growth of Philippine arts and culture and was home to distinguished artists who have greatly influenced the development of fine arts, music, and dance in our country. The entries this year are very inspiring and are testaments to the brilliance of the Filipino artistry. And this program, The Best at SFAD, continues to exhibit the strong commitment of PWU and SFAD to the development of Philippine arts and culture, despite the many challenges faced in the last 2 years caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much to SFAD for this opportunity to share this journey with you, to all the participating artists and teachers, and to the curator, Professor James Tana. Thank you to all. I hope you all enjoyed the exhibition, and congratulations to PWU and SFAD, and to the Best at SFAD winners. Thank you.
Thank you also, Miss April. It was also a pleasure to have you
Maganda.
sit as our jury. We value the thoughts you have shared during the deliberation about the grit it takes to go out of the box in order to achieve new and exciting pieces. Now let's listen to the warm message from Sir Che Elson. Mr. Che was the first alumnus of the Philippine Women's College of Davao, successfully passed the Philippine Regulatory Commission's Interior Designer Licensure Examination. He obtained his Bachelor of Fine Arts major in Interior Design at PwC Davao and is currently pursuing his Master of Arts in Interior Design at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He is also a member of the National and Mindanao Davao chapters of the Philippine Institute of Interior Designers. He is currently working at SOFA Design Institute.
Greetings to the Philippine Women's University School of Fine Arts and Design community. Thank you to Dean Josephine Suralba, Ms. Denise Salvacion, to the faculty and students for inviting me to participate as one of your jurors in this series of Best of SFAD 2022. First, I would like to congratulate PWU SFAD for another successful year of the Best of SFAD Students Art and Design competition. It is not yet that easy to pull off a competition at these times, since the country and the world are still battling the COVID-19 pandemic, and schools and classrooms are still on the remote online learning. But nevertheless, here is the SFAD community, still enduring the challenges of the times and never failing to showcase the creative talents and skills of their fine arts and design students. Just like last year's first series of the competition that featured truly winning arts and design student entries, in this second series of the Best of SFAD, as an audience and a juror, I am excited to see new, fresh artworks and design projects that surpass the level of last year's entries. So in advance, I congratulate the successful finalist entries in both Best Art and the Best Design categories. Being a finalist in this competition is already a big accomplishment for our competing SFAD students. And for the lucky and deserving winners of this year's Best of SFAD 2022, I shout out my loudest congratulations to the winners. Hopefully, this competition will be a milestone for the winners, as well as for the finalists and all SFAD students to persevere in their studies, creative works, and never get tired of joining competitions that someday would mark their name in the arts and design creative industry, not just in the Philippines, but also abroad. Again, thank you to the PW SFAD community for this opportunity to view and judge Best of SFAD 2022. Congratulations to the finalists and the grand winners.
Thank you, Sir J. Elson. That was an excellent reminder that we should continue to pursue our studies and not tire in joining exhibitions that can serve as a platform for our voice. Last but not the least, here's Ms. Jana ending the congratulatory messages with some words of empowerment for her students. Ms. Jana was born in 1985 in New York to a Filipino family. She graduated magna cum laude from Brown University with a BA in Visual Arts in 2008. A child art prodigy, the artist had her first exhibition at the age of 12 at the Ayala Museum in the Philippines in 1998. At age 14, she had a solo show at the Walter Wickister Gallery in New York. Since then, she has continued to exhibit work in New York, the Philippines, Berlin, and Singapore. Benita's works are included in major private and public collections, including Pataka Art and the Museum in New Zealand and Ayala Museum and Museo Pambata in the Philippines.
Dear artists and students, this is Jana Benitez, and it is my honor to be part of the jury for the Philippine Women's University SFAD exhibition and prize this year. Congratulations on submitting and sharing your most compelling artwork or design. As a full-time artist myself, I know how hard it is to make work. It may be fun, it may look easy, it may come naturally, but ultimately, at best, it's really, really hard. The simplest act of making brings us up against all kinds of fears, vulnerabilities, and challenges. While I may not know all the particulars of your practice and circumstances, I have no doubt that you had to push through a lot in order to get to this point. And I'm here to say, good job. Well done. You put yourself out there, you gave the best of yourself, and that is a huge achievement. So do me a favor and take a deep breath and pat yourself on the back. Artist to artist, maker to maker, I must say that I am deeply grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making work. Thank you for showing up to your artistic practice, pushing through your personal resistances, and creating something to share with the world, something that did not exist before. At the end of the day, this is everything. And this work never ends. We make stuff, we make meaning, we venture alone into the unknown chaos. We touch that absurd, irrational, indescribable life or death feeling. We survive, we persevere, and we come back, if we're lucky, with a tiny souvenir, a little slice of order and form to offer up to this shared material world. And then we do it all over again. And again. The cycles of the creative process continue. And to be perfectly honest, in my experience, it doesn't necessarily get easier. I'm not gonna lie. But I will say with all of my heart that it is always and truly worth it. And it can be extraordinarily rewarding. And thank God we can take refuge in our artistic communities. We can lean on each other for support, insight, inspiration, and inner fuel. Thank God we all have each other. And it is for this reason that events like the Philippine Women's University Best of SFAD is so important. Because it gives us a platform to come together, to see your work, to celebrate your individual creative triumphs. So a big thank you to the Philippine Women's University for organizing this exhibition and prize. Thank you especially to Ms. Denise Salvacion, Ms. Mervi Pueblo, Dean Jing Toralba, and our curator James Tana. Personally, as a Filipino artist currently living abroad, it means a lot to me to stay connected to the Philippines and to our artistic communities. I'm very, very happy to be a part of this. Thank you for including me, and one last huge congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Jana.
Dear artists and students,
Thank you, Ms. Jana, for that very refreshing message. Wow, okay. Thank you again, well, for all the jurors for your words of congratulations and encouragement. That was a very empowering congratulation message, by the way. With your very timely advice, I hope that the future generations of cultural producers or artists will continue to pursue excellence in art and design. And congratulations to all our exhibiting artists. The success of the event relies on your courage to express your own artistic voices and your fortitude to press on despite the challenges of the times. We are in awe of all the students who made it to the exhibition. Now, before we close, let's have a short walkthrough at the exhibition. you would like to visit the exhibition, kindly book a visit to our website or simply browse through the digital exhibition we have here by checking the QR code. Again, congratulations to all our exhibiting artists. Before we close, we would like to take this opportunity to thank the people that made this event possible. We would like to thank the entire Besat SFAD team, our sponsors and volunteers from XCOM, Trifecta, Ruscura, SIDS, and Pintabs. Thank you also to Dean Turalba, President Benitez, Sir Sam, Sir Yuki, the marketing and multimedia team for your ceaseless support for the program. And on behalf of the PWU School of Fine Arts and Design, thank you all for joining us today. We hope that the event has been inspiring, and we hope that we can convince all our students to take this transformational and creative journey with us again for the next school year. As we end this program, if you haven't subscribed to our PWU official page and the PWU SFAD official page, kindly do so that you can be updated with the latest news. This is Denise Salvacion, your host and the Besat SFAD chairperson. Have a good morning, afternoon, or good night, wherever you are based.